Here we go. I'd like to welcome everyone to one of the greatest shows in Jefferson County history, the Jefferson County Board of Tourism. If y'all be so kind, we could stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for taking your time to be here, and we have projects and partnerships, grant cycles twice a year, once in March, once in August. And usually I'm fairly a stickler just for, to be cognizant of people's time. I like to condense it. Once we call up your organization to come up, you have about 4 minutes. I'm not going to be that hard on the 4-minute mark, but be cognizant of everyone's time. We've read your applications, kind of give us a summary, and give us an opportunity to ask questions if we choose to. Also, there's 7 applicants. We'll go right through each application or each applicant. You'll come up, you can stand right up there. When you're finished, you're not being disrespectful at all. We all have lives. Feel free. It's not going to dock you. Nothing like that happens. When you're finished, if you want to stay, please stay. If you choose not to, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Board, do you all have anything to add before we kick off the festivities? Jim, you have anything?
The only thing is, folks, I think this is a great example that there's an awful lot of good stuff going on in Jefferson County. And we want to thank everybody here for their hard work. Whether you get a grant or not, we want to thank you all for your hard work. And if you don't get a grant, don't take that as a slap on the wrist. Take it as, we still thank you for your hard work, and keep on going, keep on doing what you're doing, because we really appreciate your hard work. We just have limited funds. That's all.
Thank you, Jim. Anybody else? All right. Well, first up is an applicant order. First of all, Elizabeth, thank you. Jim, thank you for accumulating the applications and then getting them out there, communicating with those potential recipients or those applicants, and then also giving a summary to our board. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. That helps out immensely. First one is the Canaan Fall Festival.
Hello, I'm Dina Schaefer.
Hi, I'm Krista Lee.
I'm a retired teacher.
I'm a current teacher.
And we're representing the Canaan Events and Enrichment Foundation. If we can have power to the TV. That's the end line.
I think we want to watch this instead though.
It's working.
I have to connect from your computer.
She's got the ambience.
Here's, let's see. That's
Can you go to settings? I got here at 6. Is this on?
Your time's up.
Thank you, Norbert. Norbert was very nice.
So should we just go ahead and? let's just use this as talking points. So we can-
This is screen, right? Oh, this- Oh,
Okay, the Canaan Events and Enrichment Foundation requests your support with the purchase of a portable stage. The CEF was originally the Canaan Restoration Council. Many of you may be familiar with the Restoration Council. It was formed in the 1960s. And we've had the Canaan Fall Festival since 1965. The council was an all-volunteer organization who operated on a limited budget, very limited, and supported the Canaan Fall Festival and historic preservation for many years in Canaan. They own and manage multiple properties, the Indian Trails Building, Kramer House Museum, Kramer Park, Ferris Building, and the festival grounds. We're transitioning to new leadership with a lot of young folks with a lot of enthusiasm and a hope for the future. But we do rely totally on grants and donations for our funding. This year has been particularly difficult in renting a stage for our event. In fact, we have been beating lots of bushes in many neighborhoods, and we found one in Scottsburg. And our president, Matt Clark, is paying the rental on the stage. Once again, it's usually $800 to $1,000 to rent the stage for the festival each year.
Which he has, I believe, for the last 4 years. And we usually have rented from North Vernon, but it was unavailable, and we really were in a situation it was a few weeks ago that we did not know where our stage would be coming from, which is a focal point of our festival.
So if we obtain the funding for the purchase of a stage, not only can we use that, but we can let the Canaan Fire Department and a community academy and other community organizations use it and rent it outside of our area. And I know the demand far exceeds the supply. We found that out one way. But I know entertainment for any event enhances the visitors' participation and wanting them to return. Just like it does in Madison music movement. So the stage that I have priced will take 12 weeks to build. So we won't order it until we get it funded. And so we're hoping to purchase a portable stage that's easy to transport, easy to set up. And it's an 8.5 by 24-foot trailer with a retractable awning and a stage that just drops down with hydraulics. So in other words, they claim that one person can transport it, set it up, get it ready to run. So I really believe that this will help our event and other events in the area. So we thank you for the opportunity to apply for this funding. And if we are not considered this round, we would enjoy coming back in March for your next round of funding. We are also, our organization is also tackling a lot of projects. We are rehabilitating the Indian Trails building, going to repurpose it as a community artifact storage, a restaurant, and a farmer's market. We hope to restore and then reopen the Kramer House Museum. We just recently had it approved for the National Register. And we've had a complete historic structure report completed on the Kramer House property. We hope to partner with the Canaan Community Academy, the Canaan Fire Company, and establish more events highlighting our community. And one wish is that we will start having Canaan School and Canaan Community Academy reunions. I just recently celebrated my 50th class reunion, and it was so much fun that I thought, we'll bring back the Canaan School alumni and host more events.
Yeah, as this kind of new leadership is taking off, we're really trying to balance keeping this traditional festival going. It's been going since 65 and we know that it exists even before World War One and the war kind of ended it and then they brought it back and we kind of dipped there in the 2000s and a lot of people even talked about just canceling it. But here in the last 6 to 8 years, we've really built that back and we're trying to make it, you know, relevant to current society. So families want to come out, but also staying true to our traditional roots in a rural part of our county, which highlights a whole different perspective for tourists here, where you get kind of a juxtaposition of maybe the wealthy of downtown, but also kind of that pioneering, you know, attitude of your rural areas. So we would just love that opportunity for our festival to grow. And since we are volunteers and we don't really get any other funding, kind of take some of that weight off of us as we work on our regular jobs. So having a stage kind of set and in good quality would make our festival run even smoother, where we could focus on some of these other projects and other ways to make our festival great for our community. Thank you.
Do any of you have any questions for us?
The stage that you're looking at, is this, since we don't have pictures available, is this, are you looking at a folding, closed, shut down stage similar to the stage that Madison uses
Yes.
Only on a smaller
on a
scale.
smaller scale?
That's it.
Okay,
Yeah, and so we, like I said, we usually rent from Jennings County, but when they were booked, we reached out to Madison for sales, some private people, and we've ended up all the way in Scottsburg to get a stage for this year's festival.
So with Madison building the amphitheater, is there any chance that they would be selling their stage, or is that a question that anyone's
I
ever
would-
asked?
Think so, but it's a little too, it's too large. If I could just
Okay,
be honest with you, I think for a festival our size, this 24-foot is, and I did a lot of shopping. I'm a big online
Okay.
shopper.
yeah,
And I think it's more practical and would be better for events our
In our
size
community.
and DuPont. Those areas.
What are some other festivals that you think could utilize a stage like this?
Neville's Grove might be something that would be interested. I know they kind of have a stage, but if like I think it's like a shelter house at Neville's Grove, when I've been there, but that might be something that would be open to them. It just, if one of the festivals downtown maybe needed other spaces, like some of these music festivals are growing, and I don't know if the downtown area would ever kind of consider it, but like I've been to music festivals where there are multiple stages at the same time, you know, with different performers at different areas. And as our music scene grows, that might be something that would be considered, so people could kind of move around the area and see different people at the same time based off of, you know, the music choice that they had or things like that.
And DuPont. They're working diligently to get their gymnasium on the National Register, and they've been hosting more and more events. And the area where their new awesome playground is doesn't have enough space, so if they were going to have a community event, either the firehouse or the school would make a better setting.
Okay.
I know, I taught there 2 years.
Do we have any other questions? Thank you all for your
Thank
presentation.
you.
Thank you for your time. Here-
No.
Isn't that how it usually goes? Here would be cool if somebody could explain this. That's what it looks like. Okay. Thanks. Next up, Black History Month exhibit, Sue Livers.
maybe move the podium back over to the normal spot.
yeah, I can pull that around.
Bring enough of these, but maybe you can share.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
was this yours?
Yes.
This your four too? Is that it?
My power.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Sue Livers, and I want to talk to you about Black History exhibit from February, the month of February. This exhibit would include not only people that there are 12 panels. And let's say the first panel is the arts and entertainment panel. And I didn't make enough of those to go around. I think there's 3 for each year. So you know who Louis Armstrong is, and you know who Aretha Franklin and blah, blah. But do you know who Mr. Taylor is, or Bill Smith? And they would be local people of color that would also, be displayed on these panels. In the literature area, we know who James Baldwin is, we know who Toni Morrison is. But I don't know if you're aware of Harris or Glenn Smith or Mae Watson, who are also writers from the Madison area. In the sports arena, everybody knows who Jackie Robinson is. And one of the reasons that I think this is such an important exhibit is because we don't showcase Madison's talent enough. There's so much talent in our area and so many things that came from our city that just does not get out there. And I think it's important that our students know, that our visitors know. For example, Eddie Whitehead from Madison lived on Elm Street, grew up right there by John Paul Park. He broke the color barrier for Indiana University's baseball team. We know who Serena Williams is, and you know who the Humes brothers are. Everybody knows the Humes brothers. Of course, they would be on there. But did you know the Perry brothers that played at the same time as the Humes brothers? Not only did the Perry boys play, and most of you in this room are too young to remember these people that I'm talking about, John Perry and Nathan Perry, but it filtered down to Donna Perry, who ran track for Evansville, and on to London Perry, who played basketball for Madison, and Jason Perry. Also, in the civil rights panel, Frank Inskeep, who brought the NAACP to Madison along with his brother, Herbie Inskeep. And then in the business industry, we're familiar with John Carter, who had a business and these are all Black Americans from our community, or that moved into our community. Virginia Cosby's Beauty Shop, the Cosby Motors, and of course, we all know who Madam C.J. Walker is, and she would be on that panel as well. In our science and technology arena, Elmer O'Banion has a building named after him at Prairie View College in Texas. One of the science buildings. He grew up on 5th Street here in our community. We know who Mae Jameson is, and of course, George Washington Carver, but Dr. Solomon Hicks, also from Madison, Poplar Street, before the street was closed due to the hospital's expansion. But Dr. Solomon Hicks was a physician in his wagon, but also a veterinarian. So he did a little bit of both. Then we'll skip on down to, because this is just a draft. We know for faith, freedom, and Underground Railroad, I learned these buckets from Kim there. She's so good at putting things in pockets, and I think it's just an excellent way to do this, to keep it organized. But the faith, freedom, and Underground Railroad panel would be, of course, George T. Baptiste, William Anderson, you know, we know these names, Chapman Harris, but you know Reverend Gaines and what he did for our community. Then our public and military area, Charles O'Banion was a Tuskegee Airman, as well as owning a dental clinic here in town. Noble Whitehead, the father of Eddie Whitehead, had a garage as well as Charlie O'Banion had a garage. In the alley behind, Madison Bank and Trust, the old Madison Bank and Trust. Then, with the military, of course, we've got Crispus Attucks and the Buffalo Soldiers, but also William Hood, who was taken from his family at the age of 5 and sourced out, joined and recaptured. He was a slave. He was free, but he was sourced out. And then he joined the service, and at the age of 17, he'd been around the world and fought in the Civil War. Came back to Madison because it was safe here, and ended up being buried in Vernon, Indiana, relative of the Hunter family. The educators, Anna O'Banion, Mr. Malone, when the schools integrated in 1957, all the Black teachers received their pink slip. It's not that they were fired, but none of the white schools in our area would hire them. So they had to go elsewhere for jobs. Mr. Malone, the principal of the Broadway School, the first commissioned colored school in the state of Indiana, had no place to go. So he went to Indianapolis, got a job, and was later, within 4 years, was the nominated and received the honor of Principal of the Year for the state of Indiana. That was our loss. And then Black women leaders, Patsy Harris, the women of the Georgetown area, Elsie Perry Payne, then our Afro-American landmarks, Eureka Lodge number 30, I have 40 on there, I don't know why. The Baptist Church, a Lutheran college, and so forth. I think it's important that we call attention to Madison's talents, not just on the Underground Railroad, but for so many other areas that is not taught in the school system. As I said earlier on, we have a lot to be proud of, and if we don't talk about it, then we don't show it. It's not going to happen. The story has to be told. This will take place at the Jefferson County Library. The History Center, History and Art Center has graciously agreed to deliver the panels for the exhibit, so that we can have 13 areas of information that we can have. The library has graciously agreed to let us use that auditorium, and there's no charge for either one. What questions might you have? Is my 4 minutes up?
I forgot I was in a meeting.
Yeah.
I could just listen to you talk for days, so.
Uh-oh, you all heard that. You have any questions?
I don't really have a question. I know that History and Art Center is helping to support the exhibit, and it's taking place actually at the library. But you know, I feel like every time I hear you talk, Sue, I learn 30 things.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you. I wish there was more of a living exhibit. And I don't know if there's an opportunity for partnership with, you know, this is the Historical Society on this. I know that they're asking for a grant and updating some of the exhibits, but I do think there should be a living Underground Railroad exhibit. There should be a living, you know, Black History exhibit for Georgetown exhibit. I think there's a great opportunity for partnership there because, like you said, if you're not telling these stories, I don't know. I'm learning them, so I think it's important, you know.
What did you say, Bob? Bob Simmering? Bob asked me one time, not very long, can I tell it?
Yeah, I don't remember, but.
When you die, Sue, when you die, what's going to happen?
So
Yeah,
here's the point.
Yeah.
Okay.
which wasn't my thing.
But yeah, we just gotta preserve the history. And I think it's
Yes.
important for it to be, it's
History Center has an excellent exhibit there. It's not enough anywhere. Historic Madison does an awful lot. I just think, I'm selfish. I just want my part of the story. I want a seat at the table.
Mhm.
You know, and I just think that it's okay to ask for that seat, don't you, Jim?
Absolutely.
So the partnership is there.
Good.
The building and the space isn't. And I say this too, that when you do the same thing at the same place all the time, people don't go. They get bored, you know, we do the Juneteenth celebration and we're gonna have to move it one of these days so that we can, it's more exciting if, I guess, if they go a different place each week. We could have done this at the History and Art Center because they are always having something going on there. But, I think, community-minded people and visitors especially, they go different places. One group of people may be interested in art, one group of people may be interested in music. So if we have an opportunity to move things around, then there's a good, you know, possibility that we can reach more people.
Mhm. Yep.
So the partnership is there, it's just not a, what do you wanna say, a permanent building.
I think that's the important part though, because we want to have a reflection of the history always for people to continuously learn, you know, if it's moving all the time and it's temporary, that the thing that eventually will get
Maybe
lost.
next time I could ask for enough cash to buy a building.
There you go. Got a place now, right? For rent.
Always opportunity.
Yeah.
You guys have anything else?
Anything else?
We know how to follow our directions, we're okay, right?
Super, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you as always. Next up, we have Madison Chautauqua.
Kara Hensy is not here, so you're stuck with Kara Fox.
At least we got a care.
We have 3 on our committee, so I do the short mistake now. So you guys have read over it. Chautauqua is getting ready to come up on their 55th, right, Katie?
Yes.
55th, Chautauqua this year, which is exciting because there's not much that's older than me in this town, but I can say that I've been through all of them. No, super excited to grow the experience, making some changes, going to, put the music and the entertainment down at Crystal Beach in the lawn. So if you guys saw on here, we're trying to just kind of cover some of those expenses. We're gonna make a, more family friendly on the Lanier lawn. We'll have an interactive painting this year. We're excited about that. The community can come in, paint their part, and then we'll have this amazing piece of artwork that, hopefully everyone participated in. Let's see, what am I forgetting? If you have not noticed, we are now interactive. I think that just came out this week, but you can actually, go to the Chautauqua probably website. If I'm saying this wrong, Katie chime in. But everything is interactive, so that's super big because of course we have to shift some people around as things are happening downtown and, you know, the paper is great, but there's something about having it in the palm of your hand. With that said, I don't know, any questions? I mean, we're a well-oiled machine. Just trying to make the experience even better for really trying to hone in on bringing, the families in to spend some time. You know, it's hard to shop with your kids. I am in charge of the kids tent and it's always a fun experience, but we just want to have more for the families. For everyone. We want some shade down there so they can enjoy the music. So that's why we're kind of shifting things around. I'm gonna have some yard games out at the Lanier lawn, maybe some bubbles, I don't know, whatever we can do with the money, that we hopefully get, so. Anything? And I do have a report, Kara, I don't think she attached it in your all's email, but we'll make sure that gets sent. I think it was in 2025. there was a grant for some upgrades on, maybe some marketing and stuff. She gave me a copy, but I will make sure that that gets emailed to you guys as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Follow up.
You all have any questions? Anybody?
Have you come up with any magic formulas to bring the crowd in on Sunday?
We're hoping that's where this might be a draw. We are, working on a partnership with the high school, which I think anytime you have the kids and students involved, that obviously is gonna bring their family and friends. I think Mr. Kelsey is involved, and I'm speaking very gently on this, but I think they're wanting to really tap into our high school students in the theater and arts. And as you know, if my kid's gonna be somewhere, I'm gonna bring my entire family down, and I think part of that is on, Sunday as well as Saturday. So we're really, there used to be, I know they used to do some, was it show choir or, you know, in front of the visitor center. So we're gonna move that over to the lawn where it's shady, have some seating and try to build that part of it back up. So. That's all I got for you, Jim.
I'll throw in that Sarah has had conversations with Kara about doing some special marketing tied to Sundays. So I'm trying to focus on pulling some of that in.
It's Kara Hensey. I'm just the kid tech girl. So, yeah, I mean, we were up to 200 and.
205 artists.
Yeah, we're gonna have 205 artists. I don't know, we got we had a wonderful group. I will say this is one of the easiest groups to work with, and definitely, you know, trying to stay in front of things and grow it to be better and better every year.
Kara, thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely. Next up, Mad Hop Music Festival.
Hi, I'm Tony Novello, representing Mad Hop Music Festival. If you don't know what Mad Hop is, it's an idea that was born from years and years of volunteer for music festivals here in Madison over 20 years. And going to music festivals for a lot longer than 20 years. And getting ideas on how we can do what we think is unique and great for Madison. And that is bringing live quality music directly to our downtown. So it's not going down to the river where it's just isolated down there. Our venue is downtown in the business district. And that way we support all of Main Street and its business district around it, and the small businesses around all benefit from it as well. We use our stages, the Hyatt Theater, Window Auditorium, Thomas Finley Winery, Electric Lady, Off Broadway Tap Room, Red Bicycle Hall, Mad Paddle Brew Distillery. So in the past, we've had other ones as well. We've kind of modified and evolved, but these are our staples in Madison of small businesses, and these guys, especially if they're serving food, alcohol, or drinks, they always report back record days for Saturday anyway. So it's the whole concept of keeping things here instead of having somebody be down the river and then they drive away with their cash in their pockets and don't keep it here. So we have gotten support from you in the past generously, so we always appreciate that. We gave up a couple of grant cycles to give other people the opportunity for your generosity. We're back with your support. Actually, we expanded from just a Saturday festival to a Friday night and all day Saturday festival. And at that point, we did see a 50% increase in overnight visitors, so beds and heads. But also people are not only just listening to music and going to these venues, but they're shopping at our small businesses all downtown in the business district, staying in hotels and Airbnbs downtown in Madison. So as we get bigger, we're by far not the biggest festival in town, but I think the economic impact can be argued with what Madison does just because of our philosophy and how we do it. Without funding, I think we'll have to scale back the Friday. We did get some last minute unexpected issues last year that cost us, quite a bit of money. It'll cost us a little bit of money this year, with the venue change. So it's always a struggle, but we're excited to go, forward with Bat Hop again this year. It's, November 6th and 7th this year, so. Any questions?
You guys do a great job, Tony. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. It's like all these people here, the day or 2 days that everybody sees the event. They don't see the 364 days that takes to do all of what everybody else does here, so.
Thank you for continuing to grind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, we-
All right. Next up,
No one else is standing up to help us. All right, nice before Christmas. I am here, Jessica Spees, Director of Programs for Historic Madison, as one of the 5 community partners that leads Nice Before Christmas. So this is an organization, like, let's say, melee that comes together. And so we work on this all year together, and it benefits those 5 organizations. So that's Visit Madison, the Jefferson County Historical Society, Historic Madison, Lanier, and the Schofield House. So when you're supporting this, you're really supporting 5 of us, not just one. But our ask is pretty self-explanatory. Katie could not be here today. She's out of the country. But I am here and happy to answer questions if you have them. No, okay, I like it, easy. All right, thank you guys.
Jessica, thank you. Next up is Madison Area Arts Alliance.
Hello, everybody. I'm gonna got some handouts for you. I always try to bring some information, what's going on, and so you can read along and see what we're doing right now. If you want to pass that one around. Right there, Jim, that would be great. And I brought this for you. We just did a Darren Means exhibit, and I wanted that to make sure that they remember that. Because I know that was a favorite, and it's wonderful. So I'm Kim Nyberg with the Madison Area Arts Alliance. We talk about this every time I come to talk to you guys. I want to explain a little bit about the Madison Area Arts Alliance. We're a nonprofit made up of artists and non-artists, civic and business sectors of the community that believe in the power of the arts and the arts of all arts. So we are in our 14th year of operation. Can't believe it. I came for 6 months and here I am 14 years later. It's crazy. We're really proud to tell you that things are going very well. What we applied for this round of funding for 2 projects. And the 2 projects are as follows. We are requesting funds to achieve the following. As I mentioned in my report that I gave you last month, that we are hosting the Indiana Plein Air Painters Association in September. The first Brush of Fall is coming in September 17th, 18th, and 19th. It's a week before Chautauqua. In that, we will welcome over 55 accomplished, well-known Indiana artists. They're part of this association, so they sign up to come to Madison for 3 days. They go all through the county. We provide assistance, we provide hospitality, we roll up the red carpet. We're the host organization, and we're really proud of that. There's lots of things we do. We host a dinner, we give them a county map. We assortment of really things that we do for them. I had mentioned, I think, to y'all when I gave the report and kind of foreshadowed this request. This year we are offering 3 local awards. They have a juror that comes in and they provide their rankings of all of this work that comes out of it. But we're doing the Bob Saresic award, the Larry Rita Fleck Award, and the Bill Gordon Award, which is really paying a lot of I'm very proud of that because we've not always labeled these awards. So we're happy to do that. This year, we're planning on having a celebration on Mulberry Street. After these 55 folks come, they paint for 3 days and then they have a wet sale. And so they want to have the wet sale at the spot. Well, the spot's not really not big enough for that. So we're hoping to flow out on the street and have an event on Mulberry Street. And why not have music too? So we're just gonna throw a party that night. So it'll be September 19th in the afternoon. We have, what benefit does this bring? It brings statewide recognition to our community, but it also, I think, brings local folks, residents and visitors into a different thing. It's a very cool event. We're very proud of it. The other project that I wanted to mention tonight, and that this was in the grant application, we've started an arts residency program. And as you know, we keep the spot open 6 days a week, thanks to y'all. There's no way we could do it without you. How we've decided to do it here in the next year is to add an artist on site every Saturday. So in order, the artist will actually do in-house work, but they'll also see the guests and so forth. But we tried it out last Saturday and the Saturday before. This last Saturday, we had Sarah Wines. She was painting the whole day. And then in addition to that, we had a gentleman by the name of Ethan Michaels who provided music. So it was really kind of a cool experience. So we think it's gonna work. We'd like to do it for a year. Sarah is our first one, Sarah Wine. She's an arts educator in Switzerland County, and she owns a gallery in Madison, next to the theater. So she's the person that, we kind of start with, and maybe we can evolve into other things. Those are the two projects. It's special programming. It's something a little bit, pushing a little bit more, out in for us, so. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Now, the 55 painters, they will be staying here and we will be getting innkeeper staff.
Absolutely. Some of them come in families, friends, they bump together. There's a lot of campers in the group. A lot of people camp. So yeah, they stay Thursday and they'll leave Saturday night. So it's a nice chunk of folks. I say it's 55, it may be more than that, but we've averaged about 50. So each time, and they do maybe 3 or 4 paintings when they come. So it's like 150 kind of cool pictures of Madison and Jefferson County. It's probably one of our favorite things that we have, so.
Well, the cool thing is on that Saturday night, if you're gonna have a party on Mulberry, maybe there'll be some drinking and then they'll have to spend the night, so we'll get into.
They have to be at Saturday night too.
I know.
So it'll be an afternoon kind of party, but we could partner with some other folks to do.
I understand.
Yes.
Kim, thank you as always.
Okay, thank y'all so much for everything.
Next up, Jefferson County Historic Society. One of the great things about being on this board is I'm able to meet different people, see what they do. And I went over, I've been there before, but I really had an opportunity to meet with Jared and John, and they gave me quite the tour, and I'm talking, I can't do 2 things at once. So I appreciate your time and I appreciate your time. I learned quite a bit. And there's a lot of stuff in there. My gosh, there's a lot of stuff there. I was just fascinated with it. From dinosaur eggs found in Madison.
No, I want to thank you, and I want to thank Matt and Rainey as well for stopping by. It was good to meet you. So for those that don't know, I'm Jared Anderson. I'm the new-ish associate director at the Historical Society, and this is a lot of information. We're not going to go through it all. It's just kind of a lot of stuff that we gathered that kind of felt as though it fit our ask. So. Let's see. First, I want to reintroduce who we are. So many of you know who we are. And if you don't, you should. We've been in the community since 1850. We're the oldest county historical society in the state of Indiana. We operate the History and Art Center as well as the Railroad Museum. And part of the History and Art Center is a semi-permanent history gallery, a temporary exhibit space, a children's activity room, and a gift shop. Additionally, we have the collection storage, which is mostly the basement of the facility, and archive space, which is upstairs, as well as the folk school classroom. So then with that, I want to mention, you all have some of our rack cards. These are new, both for the folk school and the History and Art Center itself. So I tend to be a very data-driven individual. I want a reason for why we do things. So with that, we've had over 3,500 visitors in 2026. And with that, we decided to start polling some of our visitors, random sample. And so May to July, we randomly selected 200 individuals and just simply asked them, where are you coming from? Where are you staying? Do you need food recommendations? Things like that. But what we gathered was, almost 80% of the people that walked through our door traveled over an hour. Now, that's not to say they traveled over an hour just to visit us. I like to think that our organization is an accessory to all the other wonderful things that people are doing when they visit. Another 15% traveled less than an hour, but we're not Jefferson County residents. Therefore, what we can gather from that is that 95% of the people that walk through our door on a daily basis are tourists. They're not Jefferson County residents. And with that, we've been able to learn things from the inside as well. How do we cater more to locals also? We serve the community just like we serve tourists. And so our hope is through some of this data that we can change some of the things we do and how we do them to grow our reach to locals as well. Not to hinder tourists, but to grow locals and continue to welcome tourists. We've had a goal of growing our social media. Oftentimes people don't know where we are. The museum is free this year, so we've been pushing that out on social media as well as other things in our collection, as well as events and whatnot that we're doing. We like to say that we want to meet people where they're at, and through social media, we're hoping to do that. So our social media growth just in the last 6 months is up by 138%. That's over or nearly 1,200 followers, again, just in 6 months. When I started, we had about 800 followers, and now we're at well over 1,900. So some other data, we've done a lot of community events with community partners this year. For example, Coco organized the Tri-Kappa Art Show. We hosted that. About 500 people came to that opening. We had nearly 200 for our first Tales from Springdale event, which was great, a partnership with Springdale Cemetery. And from that, they got almost $1,000 donated back to them because of their partnership. We've had hundreds of riverboat visitors. We've even opened on every single Sunday that the riverboat has docked. Say that because it hasn't always docked, but we've been there every Sunday for them, even though we're typically closed on Sundays. And that's been incredibly well received by those tourists.
Thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. And then as well, we've had over 200 research requests. Now, why I think that's important in the realm of tourism, a vast majority of those people are coming from outside of the region, maybe even outside the state. We've had people from Massachusetts to California this year. They have come from all over. And they typically organize that in advance, though not always. And, we're left scrambling a little bit, but no, typically they email ahead of time and we get that scheduled. And those are kind of your hidden tourists. they're not necessarily going to events, they're not necessarily going anywhere but us, but they're also staying somewhere, they're eating somewhere, you know, so. I also want to, I'm not gonna go through this, but here's just a complete list of the things we've done this year. And now, again, why is that important to our ask? Well, we feel it's important to know where we're coming from to see where we're going. So again, you guys can go through that. It showcases our many partnerships that we've had this year. As well as some events, some exhibit openings, where we've had 3 exhibits. One working with Sue for Juneteenth, another working with the DAR quilt show, and then of course we've got another one coming later this year for Jefferson County Creatives, showcasing almost 60 locals or local pieces designed and created by historic figures. So from there, I want to get to the use of our funds. So our biggest project in the ask is semi-permanent exhibits. Now, what do I mean by semi-permanent? For those that visited with us, we've got a very big history gallery. With that, many of those exhibits are older than I am. Many are close to 30 years old. And so we realize that in order to attract both locals and tourists and keep them coming back, we have to adapt and we have to change. So we have currently 2 potential design firms, one out of Louisville and one out of Iowa, that they design and fabricate exhibits. That's what they do. Now, this is a very costly endeavor. This is going to be far more than what our ask is, tenfold probably. With that, we've applied for multiple grants. We have multiple funders lined up. We're ready to strike whenever the iron's hot. Now, that includes potentially 5 exhibits. One would be a timeline exhibit. We understand that with 95% of our visitors being tourists, sometimes our museum can be overwhelming. And so right as they walk in the history gallery, it'll be an overarching timeline that shares the entire county history with everyone. From there, we want to redesign our industry exhibit to showcase both industry of yesterday and industry of today. For example, Royer, Grody, we've been in contact with both of them, and they're helping supply some of the historic pieces they have to help display those. Additionally, a tour of the township exhibit. We realize that we are the County Historical Society, and sometimes being in downtown, we have a tendency to just discuss downtown because there's so much history, but we're hoping to expand that and tell the entire county story. And then a Underground Railroad exhibit, which we hope to work with Sue on. And then there's, Hometown Heroes, where we feature folks like Bill Smith and Tommy Tevenow and several others that showcase that both to locals and tourists that we've had important people come from Madison and Jefferson County. We also have a Main Street partnership, a scavenger hunt celebrating the 60th anniversary of the National Historic Preservation Act of 1966. That's October 15th, the actual anniversary, but it will be the entire month of October. And we're hoping that that's a fun activity for, again, both locals and tourists. And that's a partnership with Main Street, Cornerstone, and Indiana Landmarks. And then finally, we got the Tales and Tunes music series, which we have already received partial funding from the music movement, and they've been great to work with. We have, our first concert is September 4th. Rachel Grimes sharing the story of riverboat musician Henry Hart. And then later in October, we have the Columbus Mandolin Orchestra sharing the life of John Gooden, who was a notable Hoosier mandolinist. And we have a few more waiting to be lined up with contracts. We just need a little extra support with that. So. I think that is everything. Do you guys have any questions?
So when you mentioned talking about Royer and Grody and putting together kind of the industry timeline, have you guys talked about doing sponsorships for those exhibits from those organizations?
Not necessarily with the exhibit itself, but general sponsorship we have. And
Okay.
we did receive sponsorship from Royer this year.
Okay, great. And then with the musicians Tales Music Series, is that a free event or is that a?
It's free, yeah, it's absolutely free. It's hosted in our Jefferson room. Though once fall comes upon us, I would like to maybe see it move out front of the History Center, but, the first two that are actually scheduled are set to be in the Jefferson room there at the museum.
Okay.
Anybody else have any other questions for our board? Jared, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. guys.
Thanks, Jared.
Thank you for the tour. But I think that's it for this evening. We will, today was a special meeting, obviously, our second grant cycle, and we will present to those recipients next Monday, 6:30 PM. And I'll try to get that up on the agenda early, so we can have a regular scheduled meeting following that. And thank you all for taking your time to be here. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Interesting.